You all right?
Clappity clap.
Am I all right?
Yeah.
I'm all right. Are you all right?
I'm good, man.
I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I try to avoid seeing you most times.
I know. So
It has been a minute.
I commented on his video. I'm like, man, you like came over to our neck of the woods and didn't even invite me or Matt.
Here's the
What
problem I
heck?
have with that. Like, you've been on the east coast of Florida for the last month, and I've not got a single invite from you. So I'm not sure why you're talking to me about an invite to Alabama.
That
when
is
you've
slightly
been-
true.
Yeah.
So, the first one we were with Salt Strong, which was kind of their shindig, and then I went to the East Coast after that.
Yeah,
But
I didn't get
then-
an invite from you either.
He went to Disney too.
But I was in
invited
Disney.
any of
Yeah,
us.
I know, man. When are we going to get the Disney invite?
We got to work on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll stay away. Like, you and I can, like, we'll go do the Disney princess stuff. They'll do your hair. It'll be awesome.
I know that there's a thing called bippity boppity boo.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you're little enough. We could sneak in. Like, if you shave that
I look
day,
like a little girl.
we
Pretty
could
much.
definitely make that
That's the
work.
look I'm going for.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say you look like a little girl. I'd say more like a child.
Close, but did you hear that pop? Did y'all hear that pop?
I did hear a
did
little
hear a
bit.
pop.
Yeah.
I don't know who that was.
Well, welcome.
Welcome back to
fishing.
another
Oh, we're
episode.
just now starting? I thought we had already started.
We did.
We did.
Oh, okay.
But here we go.
Okay, I got
We've
you.
been playing a little bit of music at the beginning.
Yeah.
now,
I
so-
like this. Like, I'm jamming with this.
I know. Little groovy.
You all should have had Eugene over. He would have sang.
We got
along with
Ron. We're going to talk about Eugene.
Yeah, we're gonna have Eugene on a podcast.
that. He would love to be here, I'm sure.
Eugene
For
would
sure.
be legit on this thing.
Yeah, as long as you brought plenty of Natty Light and.
Oh, we got that.
we can do
so
that.
we can might not be able to do an early morning podcast because I don't know if Eugene.
Why?
Eugene would probably drink at 9 a.m.
We do.
Okay, I don't need to know about
This
that.
is an Orange Beach, bro.
Yeah, I think we talked about that on a podcast.
We
Like,
don't play games.
down here. You can just drink whenever, and nobody questions you.
And that is the thing. Like when you hit the coast, it was one of the first things I realized when I moved here. Like even if you're a local, you can drink when you want to drink.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
in Kentucky, if somebody sees you with a beer at like 10 a.m.,
We talked
they're
about
like,
this.
"Oh, you're a terrible person." But here, like you crack open a cold one at 8, and everybody's like, "What's up?"
That's
It's just
right.
Like, yeah, it's just normal.
Yeah, it's like 9 a.m. right now. I guarantee you, there's people on the beach drinking right now.
You've probably
100%.
already had a beer right now,
I mean,
and we're just now getting started.
let's.
Got my Yeti cup.
Mine is in a labeled can. Brad's is in a cup. That's a surefire, like he's drinking wine or bourbon.
I got to clear my throat. Me and Brad are both sick. So this is the second time.
Wait, what? Whoa! Why did you put me in between you two?
Yeah,
You're
let me
like,
just rub a little bit on you. there.
great. This is
That's funny.
exactly what I was hoping for.
I'm
Brad's sick.
Well, it's happened to us twice. The two of the times that we've been to South Florida,
Yeah.
we both the same thing has happened to us.
Yeah.
I started feeling it in my throat. What day were we coming? We don't. I actually tested because I was like, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Which it was negative.
Yeah,
But
I'm
yeah, I
sure mine is,
haven't
yeah.
felt bad. Like
I haven't either.
It's either allergies, which is really weird because it's been lasting since what day did we come back?
We got back Thursday,
Yeah, like that was the day it started.
Wednesday.
It can definitely be
Thursday.
allergies because I've noticed like there's been several times when I went to South Florida and then I went over to East Coast. Like if I'm doing like the iguana stuff because it's in like a very like I don't know, flowery area, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of like greenery,
Foliage.
there.
Yeah,
Foliage, yeah. There's a lot of times I've come back with that, and like the next 2 or 3 days, I'm just like, I got that. It's not really sick, but you got like the
Yeah.
Yeah, we've just been like coughing stuff up,
Right.
and it's usually like the first
Nasty.
couple hours in the morning, and then I'm fine all day.
You just need to drink a beer earlier.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
right.
probably
That'd be
right.
perfectly
That'll
fine.
get it. Well, I went straight from South Florida to Lake Martin, which is central Alabama. So I went two different like completely
One extreme to
ecosystems.
another. Yeah.
And you know,
so
it was
Jack
it was
Cooley.
funny to me because Sarah and I just talked about this. This is the first time. So from August the 10th through September 3rd, we were in 14 states.
Golly.
And basically,
What now?
from
August.
August the 10th to September the 3rd, we were in 14 different states, just
That's
through
crazy.
different stuff. And like normally when I do that, like my allergies go nuts because
Yeah.
you're jumping from. I mean, we were in Florida, then we were in Oklahoma, and then Myrtle Beach and Michigan. We were all over the place, and it was one of the only times we traveled like that. I think I just didn't have time to let my allergies catch up with me. Was the problem? I think that's what was going
crazy,
on,
man.
so.
It's like the hidden things about traveling.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you don't really think about until you start. Because with our jobs, obviously we travel a decent amount.
A lot,
And
yeah.
You don't really realize those things until you're bouncing around all these locations.
Yeah.
Like, or probably around the same time I got sick last time, I'd gone from, I was in the armpit of Florida, fishing in Apalachicola area, and then I was in Louisiana, and then there, and then South Florida. So it was like all hitting all these
All
different
this stuff,
ecosystems,
yeah.
like all in like a 2 week
I have to
span.
start taking some Claritin or something when we
And
travel.
here's the thing you don't think about too. Not only are we traveling, it's one thing like if we go from Pensacola to like Louisville, Kentucky, and we're going downtown, whatever, that's one thing. But that's not what we're doing. When we go out, we're not just hanging out in the cities in different states. 90% of the time, you know, I'm on a creek bed in Oklahoma, or I'm on a little pond in Michigan. So
Sniffing
not
pollen.
not only are we going to these different environments, but we're going to like the worst case scenario for allergies of these environments when we get there. I mean, we're putting ourselves like right smack in the middle to have terrible allergy attacks.
Just giving it all to us. But yeah, you can probably tell.
But we do it all for you guys.
We do it for you.
That's right.
That's right. We endure the pain. I actually just neti potted myself right before this podcast to try to clear out.
Ron, have you ever? I don't think we actually announced. This is cameraman.
We got cameraman Ron.
For those that are listening, this is cameraman Ron. If you haven't picked
guys.
up on that yet, but have you ever used a neti pot?
Is this what we were talking about last night? Is tub time? Is this what we're
No, this is
You're not familiar with a neti pot?
I'm not
Okay.
familiar with a neti pot. I don't guess.
No, it's like okay, I can go get it, but it's like this little pot. You put
play
water
I'm
in
a
it.
little teapot.
That's right.
Short.
Yeah. You stick it in your nose, and you open your mouth because you have to make sure there's some passage for air, and you pour it in one nostril, and the water like fills up your nasal cavity, and then starts pouring out the other nostril.
No, I've never done that. Nor
It
do
feels. No,
It
like
feels
if you're
great.
stopped up at all, it feels so good.
Like
when you do it. It's terrible when it's happening because it feels like you're like
Drowning,
in a
like
swimming
waterboarding
pool.
yourself. Yeah, basically.
But it feels really good. It completely like clears out your sinuses.
Yeah.
This is why I did not move to Alabama. This is why I moved to Florida and not Alabama, is because they got neti potting going on over here.
But it feels great.
It does.
Don't bash it till you try it.
I'm definitely not going to try it anytime soon. I'm the only one in this group that's not sick, so I don't need to.
Just wait.
That's right. Yeah, I know.
That
We're about to
might
give it to you.
change by tomorrow. I'm gonna have a very busy weekend ahead, so let's hope not.
Well, if you get what we got, at least we haven't felt bad.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing.
Yeah.
Like, haven't had a headache, haven't felt like crap.
and
It's
it sounds like allergies. I mean,
I'm sure
I
it
do.
is.
Like I said, I normally experience that almost every time I go to South Florida. I don't know if it's Highway 41. I really felt it when I did the iguana stuff over there in Miami.
Yeah.
And that canal is just like loaded with everything. Though, and I'm sure it's just stuff my body's not used to.
Right.
And it just really jacks up your allergies.
Sure. So you've been in South Florida a good amount of time.
Yeah.
You got to fish with like one of the more famous YouTubers down there one time, Dar Sizzle.
Yeah, and fished with Dar Sizzle and Puddin'. It was a lot of fun.
What was that like?
It was great. I mean, it's like, and so many times I think, and we get asked this question a lot, or I know I do, I'm sure you guys do, is like, well, are they the same in person as they are on YouTube? And that's the difference with, I think, content creation with what we do and what you see on maybe like a TV show. I mean, everything we do is pretty much real. Like, we're giving you us on a daily basis. I mean, yes, we'll overact sometimes, or we might get a little more excited than what it really calls for. But for the most part, you're getting who we are. And I mean, I think you get that with them. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, I didn't realize this until I fished with them. She was literally one of the very first YouTube fishermen ever. Like, they started like back at the beginning. Like, if you look back, she definitely was the first one that was like doing the bikini stuff. And
I was about to ask, did they try to put you in a thong bikini?
they didn't try. I did. I mean, I just did it on my own. I mean, it's
There was no convincing.
Look,
whatsoever.
look, as soon as she took off the first piece of clothing, I'm like, here we go. But
Look
no,
at these cheeks, baby.
Yeah, and here's the thing, and I stressed this when we shot our video, that to me, there's two types of bikini fishermen. There really are, and I mean that. You got ones like Darcy. I mean, I'm being serious, because you have some like Darcy who, she really does know her stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this girl
No,
can
no
can
doubt,
get
no doubt.
down on catching some fish. And then there's definitely some out there that they wanted to be models and they didn't know how to be models, so they went out on a captain's boat, and these guys are hooking fish up for them and they're reeling them in.
Right.
And to me, that's the two things. And look, if that's what works for you and that's how you build your audience, that's not a problem. I could care less. But
We're in the biz. We get it.
yeah,
You know,
but
right?
I mean,
do what you got to do.
They do know what they're doing.
Beach
I mean,
Bum was invited on a trip with one of those women like that and
Well,
turned
we
it
all
down.
were. Yeah. Bombshell.
I don't remember why we didn't.
But
I know
she's a captain. Like,
Yeah.
she's got her captain's license. I don't follow her stuff because
She's more Instagram though, right? Rather than
I think so. I only looked at her Instagram. Courtney, if you're watching, I only looked at her Instagram because I got the invite and I was checking it out. And then I messaged back because
that one day he looked at it 392 times. I just want to make sure we
don't check
stress
my phone or
that.
anything.
Yeah, right.
But I like scrolled through her Instagram and I messaged the Fishing Chaos John. He's the one that invited me, and I messaged him back and I said, she seems really cool, and I'm sure y'all will have a lot of fun. I said, but there's no way that I'm going to be able to get on that boat and film a video with somebody.
But, you know, you say that, but I mean, in all honesty, like when I was out with Darcy and Puddin', it's really not that big of a deal because it's no different than filming with you guys. In all honesty,
No, I get that.
You,
it's
like
just,
once you get out there and you get going, it's it's like any other collaboration at
Sure.
that point because that's what
I
they
get
do.
it.
And
It's one of those things like, and she evidently that particular day that we get invited,
it was red snapper season. Because
well, that first time, this was another time
oh, okay,
too.
Gotcha.
Evidently, John was saying that she stayed, like she left on her long sleeves and had on, I think the leggings or whatever. She wasn't even in her bikini attire. Yeah. So which would be fine. I mean, that's totally fine. The only I'm not going to film a video with women in a bikini. I'm not going to put that on my
for your channel. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I just feel like that's, I don't know.
Just think about the thumbnail opportunities, man.
Dude, it's huge. Gigantic. And if you're going to go that route, that's cool. I get it. I mean, it totally works.
But it wouldn't work for you. See, that's wrong. And
it would totally work for me.
I think it would work for anybody.
See,
but
I don't think it would because here's the thing: if you think about your audience that you've built over, however long you've been into your audience that you've built over how many years. Now you go and you throw up a thumbnail. That's the same thing for our audience. We've built a wholesome audience. Our family or our audience looks for family friendly content. If I go throw a thumbnail up of a girl in a bikini, most of my audience probably isn't going to click that.
I don't know, man.
I don't think they would, man.
I think you're just going to get people that are going to see it and click. They don't even care whose channel it is. They just want to click and see what's there.
That's you're breaking out into like a lot of
new people.
Because all the new people that have never seen your channel before, you're going to catch their attention.
But here's the thing you have to think about:
big booty in a thong bikini. They're going to click it.
If you clicked on this thumbnail, you probably saw it.
But and this is
we may use it for this. I won't do it on my channel, but this
podcast, baby,
no limits, baby.
But that would have worked much better 5 years ago than it would today.
No, you're
because
absolutely
5
right.
years ago it was not common.
Right.
Now it's like, I mean, if you're brand new looking up saltwater fishing and you pull that up, half of them that pop up are going to be bikini fishermen. So it's you're going to see that on a regular.
I think YouTube even kind of cracked down on that a little bit because I remember seeing some posts from people that got flagged on like stuff that really wasn't even that scandalous, but like YouTube started flagging a lot.
Well,
of
and
stuff.
here's the issue, and we've talked about this 100 times on all of our channels, on the stuff we've done together. Clickbait is like the talk of the town.
That's right.
And I have a very, very different view of clickbait than most people because to me, and all this credit goes to Dutch when I went out to that conference in Oklahoma, and he put it better than anybody. There's a wild difference between clickbait and bait and switch. If I, like yesterday, title of my video yesterday was, we should be prepping for a hurricane, but I did this instead. Nothing about that is clickbait. It's true. We should have been prepping for a hurricane, and I decided to go fishing instead.
Yeah.
Now, if I'd have made that video, wife blasted by hurricane, and I put a picture of a girl in a thong on there, and then you click on it, and it's me fishing, that's bait and switch.
Right.
There's a huge difference between bait and switch and clickbait or engagement-driven titles. So it's like, they're just not, they don't work as well, like with just the bikini thumbnails like they used to. Because that's you had more limited access to the scandalous stuff. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if you keep up with Ryan Morey at all, his channel, but 3 weeks ago he posted a video with his girlfriend in a bikini,
and it
at his
absolutely
thumbnail, and it's got 1.4 million views.
It's crazy.
But the great thing about Ryan,
it's a great video. But
yeah, I was about to say the great thing about Ryan is he actually makes like
killer video,
super high quality stuff,
content. And I'll say about him specifically, he's probably one of, if not the most underrated YouTuber
100%
in saltwater fishing.
I agree.
Like
I never really watched him until I heard you guys talking about him. You guys started doing some stuff with him. And I looked him up, and I agree 100%. I mean,
he needed that video, and that sucks. Like, I mean, it sucks that you have to why can't that video on its own get 1.3 million views? Because it deserved it. It deserved it regardless. And it'll get more. But you have to.
So what you're saying is
YouTube
I need to
sucks.
put beach bum in a thong and go pompano fishing on the beach, and I'll get 1.4 million views.
That's
what I'm taking out of this entire
100%.
conversation.
Yes,
Let's do it.
my butt's pretty white. So you might have to do some color correction.
We'll do a
post.
spray tan.
Dude, Sarah can do some amazing. It's no different of a boudoir shoot.
Oh yeah, you
I
get
mean,
some white
she
booties
can
in there.
really make you look nice. I mean,
Okay.
she could probably plump it up a little bit if we need to.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we could do. She can
remove
do,
the hairs, pimples.
No, that's what makes it. That's what makes it authentic. You want that for sure.
Yeah, some people
gotta
are
keep
probably,
those ingrown hairs on the butt.
probably into that. You know, I mean, I'm sure
I'm
there's an audience
seriously
for
thinking
it.
about just making every one of my thumbnails my feet. Because like
yeah,
apparently feet
that's a
are
big
like
thing.
all the rage on the internet right now. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like every time I turn my computer on, it's got something to do with some girls. Like I'm going to start an OnlyFans and show my feet.
What
So
are you watching? Like, what
it's
are you,
nothing. It's
what
just
are you
on my
searching,
face.
Ron?
I'm
that-
not searching for feet, guys. It's just there. It's like I don't know what the. It's the
Interesting.
weirdest
I mean,
thing.
there's worse things, I guess, to fetish over.
Yeah.
Not really.
feet.
Here we had this.
I don't know, there's some pretty gross stuff out there.
Listen, we had
No,
this-
I'm saying there are worse. things.
had
this-
like
yeah.
feet's not that bad.
No.
No, we had this conversation. I disagree with that, and I bet you, if both of you ask your wife, all seriousness, go home and ask your wife, if you're walking down the beach and you see a guy checking you out in your bikini, does it make you uncomfortable? She will probably tell you no, because women are accustomed to that. But you ask them both, if you're laying on the beach and a dude comes up and starts staring at your feet, is that weird? They're going to say yes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, that's not what a woman wants you to look at. If you look at a girl and she's in a bikini and you're checking her out, she's not even going to give it a second thought. You walk up on the beach and you make it known that you're staring at her feet, it's going to get real uncomfortable real fast.
I agree that like the feet fetish is weird, but I also agree with Matt that there's some weirder stuff.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's always going to be some weirder stuff.
I don't know
out
how
there.
I don't know how I feel about all this. I mean,
How did we get here? What is going on?
welcome to the podcast.
No,
Ron.
this is
This is
I'm
what
talking
people like. We
I
just
know.
ramble.
No,
Yeah.
this
You
is what
never
I'm
know where it's
talking
gonna
about, though.
end
This
up.
is perfect.
Yeah.
Because you don't, it's like, how did we end up here? But hey, we're here.
We end up really in a lot of places. We've actually kind of stayed on point and on theme so far for what we normally talk about.
Wait, you had it wrote down that we were going to talk about feet when I got here?
Well, Darcy.
Darcizzle.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're still talking about
Bikinis.
dogs.
Gotcha.
But from what I have seen on her stuff, she actually does know what she's doing,
Oh, they
which
do.
is huge.
Like-
That's a big difference.
Well, and a lot of people don't understand. Her father's not with us anymore, but she had been fishing with her dad. It's actually very similar to Brant. I mean, she'd been fishing with her dad since she was like 3 or something crazy like that. So she knows her stuff. Like
Right.
when they go out, it's literally like being out with a very, very experienced charter captain.
she just like when you think Darcizzle in the fishing industry, and if you're aware of her or whatnot, and YouTubers, you think bikini shot.
Oh yeah,
on
for
thumbnail.
sure.
I mean, like that's just what
well,
you
and
think.
they know
But
that.
you don't. But
I
like
mean,
here
yeah.
recently, I'd say anything that I've seen of hers, they haven't done that in a long time. It seems like I don't.
Well, and you got to keep in mind, and one thing I did not realize before I went down there, they're great on YouTube, but their thing is Instagram. Like so they catch a fish and it's like they record the fish or whatever, but then they spend all their time taking the pictures because that's what's important to them.
Makes
is
sense.
I mean, I think that's where their focus is, which
Sure.
makes perfect sense from that standpoint.
right.
Absolutely.
Well, you talked about Eugene a minute ago, and this is
Good
something
old
else.
Eugene.
I wanted to talk about Darcy. I got that written down, but I wanted to ask you like where did you come up with the idea for Eugene? And if you don't follow his channel, or if you're unaware, Cameraman Ron has a character that is just that. He is a character.
Yeah, he certainly
His
is.
name's Eugene.
Honestly, like I had Eugene in my back pocket when I very first started doing YouTube, but I never had a reason to implement him, if that makes sense. Like I knew I didn't want to burn him until the time was right. And then when I started working with you guys and the popularity had grown a little bit and we had really started to develop a following, I can't even, we were with you the very first day Eugene got invented.
No, I
or
remember
introduced.
it. I
We were
remember
with
this,
you
yes.
out on the beach. And I just never dreamed that it would take on the life of its own. Like I refer to him as his own person. I mean, I do it inadvertently, I really do, but it is because he's such a character that obviously a lot of the stuff he does is not my line of thinking. And it's, we sit down and we write out scripts for Eugene, which is the one thing we don't do for any other part of our content.
Which is so creative. You've had some like really banger conceptual ideas behind your content that's pretty unique, and a lot of it revolves around this Eugene character.
Yeah, and what it does, it gives you, in my opinion, and it's something you and Brant both talked to me, and we've talked about this before, is having an overarching storyline for all of your content. And it's tough to do that with fishing sometimes. Sure. It really is. I mean, because, you go out one day, like yesterday I was catching largemouth bass, and tomorrow I might be going out and targeting redfish. And it's like, so how do you bridge the gap, and how do you make a story arc between those videos? And when we introduced Eugene, it gave us an opportunity to really like tie everything together. Like when we went out offshore fishing that day, when you and I went out and we caught the mahi with Brian, and I had the whole thing mixed in there where Eugene was waiting at the dock because we told him we were going to be there at 5, and he's thinking 5 p.m. because he drinks all the time, and we leave at 5 a.m. And then so that arc, that whole storyline. So we were able to tie like 4 videos together just by doing that story arc with Eugene. And so not only is he a great character, but he's a great tie-in to the next video, and that's what we've really tried to utilize him as, is just tying videos together. Because there was a spell last summer when we introduced Chrissy, which we all, we all know Chrissy. Right. When we introduced Chrissy, there was like people chomping at the bit for the next video. So I intentionally don't overuse him. I only put him in about every 3 or 4 videos, right? Because that's kind of the magic of it. Is Eugene going to show up in this video? It's actually, everybody's had a first with Eugene. When you and I met out at where we ran into each other at that day. That was the first time I ever did that crack a cold one thing. Where Eugene comes out and cracks a beer, and the fireworks are going off in the background, and the eagles screeching. That was the first time I'd ever done that. It's
so America.
Yeah, he's definitely,
he is America.
He's definitely proud to be American. That's for sure.
From the South in America.
And and I'll be honest, because of his mantra, I was kind of worried about how he would be received by all different groups that watch us, because obviously we have different cultures that watch us. Everybody loves Eugene. I can tell you from running into fans and to audience members. Everybody loves
That's
Eugene.
what sticks out.
It's like out. People like we were in Oklahoma and we ran into a guy. Actually, he found me through your channel. And he happened to be at that conference out there, and he came up and he was talking to me. He's like, "Is Eugene going to be here?" And no matter where we go, if we get recognized, I get that question. It's the number one question I get asked is, "Where's Eugene?"
Yeah, well, he's just a lovable character that you want to bring up all the time.
Yeah, and a lot of people thought that I modeled him off of Stale Cracker, which I did not.
I'm familiar with him. Yeah,
love Stale Cracker. Dude is just killing it on the content creation game. He's just a great content creator. But I actually did have Eugene planned long before Stale Cracker kind of became famous. I just didn't have a platform to put him out there on because I didn't want to waste it. I didn't want to burn Eugene when we were at 500 subscribers and getting 100 views of video. Right. It just didn't make sense to do that at that point.
I remember when Brant first, and I think I've talked to you about this, when Brant first talked to me about bringing you kind of along and saying, "Hey, I think this guy could be beneficial to our content," and me being like, "I don't know, bro."
Matt's like, "Nope." I've seen his videos. He's terrible.
I'm not sure about this guy. You were kind of hanging around with some different groups of people. And at the time, I mean, I was just like, Brant. Yeah. And I told Brant, I'm like, "Man, if you want to do stuff with him," I said, "but I don't know, dude." But I didn't know you personally.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was like,
"That's funny."
I don't know.
Matt was not on board.
I want to know who this group of people you're hanging out with.
Well, and here's the thing, and I'll tell you this: when we first moved to Pensacola,
we'll tell you off air.
Yeah, when I first moved to Pensacola, I was kind of grasping at straws because I knew I wanted to do content creation. I knew that I had all the tools at my disposal. I mean, obviously, we'd been working in the film industry for quite some time. I just did not know what I needed to do to get there. And my first thought is, well, find people who know what you're doing and hang out with them. And there was a few that were smaller, and it was just one of the first ones that reached back out to me. And then I found out later why, but, and then it was just from there, I found out some things that just didn't know. But I mean, at the end of the day, I definitely respected where you were coming from, because not knowing me, I mean, I could definitely see where you're like, I don't know about
association is important. Who do you associate
for
with?
sure.
It's a big deal.
Did you know at the time that Matt was not interested or was concerned?
No, I mean, Matt and I never really spoke.
I didn't know if it was like public that Matt was like,
I told him.
Yeah, we talked
later.
about it. We talked about it later. It wasn't that he didn't want to. I just don't think at the time he could see any benefit of having me be part of that group. And I totally get it at the time. I don't think we had really shown what we were capable of.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
From a content creation standpoint, I don't think we had really like branched out and been like, here's what I can bring to the table.
Right.
And it's not just, a lot of people think it's just me holding the camera, but I mean, I like to think from a personality standpoint that, you know, we're able to add something to the group.
Well, you don't even hold a camera anymore, Ron.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I hold my own.
You're a cameraman, Ron,
but
you know,
yeah,
but you
so
don't hold a camera anymore.
not very often. Every now and then I'll still pick up a camera and film for somebody.
I will say the videos, especially, I mean, we haven't filmed a video in a while together, but all the videos that we have done.
Which I don't understand, because every time you and I was thinking about this on my way over here. Every time you and I go out, we are so successful.
We are.
We have, like, let me tell you right now, Matthew and I have never went out and not had like a banger day, knock on wood. I mean, seriously, like the last time we were out, we killed pompano. We caught all kinds of fish. The time before that, he caught a 10-pound striper. I caught a 12-pound striper. Like
we did some creek fishing videos where we killed
it. Was just like every time we get together, like you said, knock on wood, like we have banger days.
But not only the fishing, the content itself, those videos are generally just better videos.
Yeah.
Like when we interact.
Anytime Ron, you have Ron around, it just helps lighten the mood and
bring an element of entertainment to that video.
100%.
That's hard to do by yourself.
I think that and that's what I was going to say. I mean, I definitely appreciate the compliment, but I think that comes from just collaborating in general.
But not everybody's easy to collaborate with.
I agree with that. But like one of my favorite videos I've shot all year, because I was kind of planning, I didn't know what all you were going to ask when I was on my way over. One of my favorite videos I've shot all year was when you and I went offshore with that family.
Mm-hmm. Those were great.
That
videos.
was fun.
I mean, but it was easy.
Yeah.
There was no work involved. Like if I'm out on the Mako by myself, not that it's fake, but you have to fabricate entertainment sometimes.
I was stressed on that trip for a little bit.
You were stressed on that trip. It was because Brad was not catching fish, man. He was struggling.
I ended up basically making a video of them catching fish.
I know that feeling.
But Ron was killing it.
But here's the thing. That's what makes collaborating so great, because you can go out. And I'll tell you who's killing the collaboration game right now, and that's Lojo, Ayo, and
oh my!
They are crushing.
They're at a whole other level.
Of the game,
but they're not at a whole other level. They've just figured it out. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like they have figured out that if you take the three of us and you go out and we make a video for Beach Bum's channel, and then we make a video for my channel, and we make a video for your channel, it takes all the pressure off of you.
Right. Yeah. That's like me and Matt did that not too long ago, and he made a video for my channel, and I mean, you said the same thing. You just enjoyed yourself.
It was nice.
But then it takes all the pressure off of you too as a content creator, because like you said, when you and I went offshore, you know, you and I were bouncing ideas off each other. We got Eugene out there. That was fun. It was hilarious. And it was effortless that day because we didn't have to fabricate any kind of entertainment, because we were hanging out with each other and we were just doing our normal thing. It was fun. And it was like, and when you're really out there having fun, I think there's nothing that shows on camera better than that when you're out there doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And I wish I would have thought about that going into that trip a little bit more, but you pulled me through, because I was definitely
I was proud of Brad though.
I was frustrated.
From everybody in our group, Brad has the hardest time holding it together with Eugene. Like 100%. Like everybody else can handle it. Like you can handle it. Brant can handle it. I feel like one of my strongest things with that character is I can go into character as Eugene and I will never crack a smile. If it's a serious
I can't
moment,
keep a straight
even
face
if it's like a serious moment where Eugene has to be serious, but everybody else thinks it's ridiculous and they laugh, I can hold it together. Brad cannot. Like the littlest thing happens and Brad loses it. Man. He's like, we have to start and reset, because Brad's like laughing his butt off, and I'm trying to have an argument with Brad over a fish, and Brad's just laughing hysterically the whole time. So.
I'm definitely not a good actor. I cannot hold my character.
Well, my whole thing that day though, like I had one goal in mind. Well, two goals in mind that day. One, I wanted to do the scene where Eugene kept asking if he could drive the boat.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the things which we made that happen in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I really wanted to catch a red snapper as Eugene. And I knew from the get-go, I told Brad that morning, I'm like, when I come out as Eugene, I'm like, if I get on a fish, I need you to get right beside me, because I'm going to act like the red snapper ate the bass. And to this day, it's one of my funniest scenes with Eugene ever. And it worked out perfect because Brad took the fish off the hook for Eugene, and it was natural because he really didn't mean to let it go, but the fish flopped as soon as Brad took it off the hook and it fell off the back of the boat.
Oh.
Well, of course, I'm pretty good at improvising when it comes like that, so I go right into it and like lay into Brad as Eugene because he let the fish go, and I was like, he ate my bass, and I was going to eat him. What are you doing? And it was so. And at that point, Brad lost.
Just couldn't hold it.
We had to cut it. We had to cut it right there.
Cut.
Yeah, there was a cut right there for sure. It makes me feel so good that you clap for me every time we start.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
That is for you, Ron.
Nice round of applause for cameraman Ron.
When you clapped, a coffee magically appeared on the table as well.
That was pretty
nice
awesome.
little transition there. Clap
You know what?
and you get some coffee.
So, number one question before we go any farther, I got a question for you guys. How many times has Brad sang on the podcast yet?
Just at least once.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like real song. Like
No.
Not really.
Are y'all monetized yet?
No.
Okay, so this is your one opportunity. We could recreate picture
If
right
we don't
now.
put the music to it, I don't think we're gonna get a copyright strike with me.
Yeah,
singing.
but if we don't put the music to it, it's not as effective. Because I'm going to tell you what would be really funny. We should redo picture since Courtney's here, and you should sing one verse of her, and then somebody should let Courtney do
sing
the
it.
right way to do it. That would be amazing. But anyways,
Alexa,
oh my God,
play Picture by
But-
Sheryl Crow.
it's by Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow, man.
It's,
Kid Rock, featuring Sheryl Crow on Amazon.
Here's your chance, Bradley. You don't.
Alexa, volume up.
No, stop. Alexa, stop.
Everybody's Alexa's going off at their house right now. Sorry.
So what are you doing?
No, wait.
What do you got?
Hang on. This is
Living my life in a slow
what's the name of the podcast?
Fishing, not catching.
Alexa, play Fishing Not Catching podcast from Spotify. See, now everybody in America that watches this, it's going to play it on their Spotify, so you'll get extra views.
The IRS shutting us down.
Hey.
What?
Hey, that
There
was
you
one
go.
of those.
works.
It works,
Play.
guys.
Oh, there we are.
Nice.
us.
I can't believe that actually
We are.
worked. Like
We're
that.
on Alexa.
That's not what I was planning on
Look
doing.
how amazing
No,
that is.
If we want to sing here in a minute, we don't need to do we don't want her to be singing along with us. I've got the karaoke version on my phone.
Okay.
With no Sheryl Crow. You
Okay.
don't want Cheryl drowning out the beautiful voice that is Bearded Brad. I mean,
This
come
podcast
on.
is getting out of hand.
This is crazy. Our podcast is playing while we're filming a podcast on
Alexa, stop.
I just
That's
heard
cool.
Brad over there.
Their heads were swelling as we were like,
Isn't that cool?
That is cool to
like
hear-
think
like,
about
tell
technology.
Alexa.
Like
It really
technology
is.
is just really it's
well,
out of control.
when I put the very first Clickbaiters podcast on Spotify,
oh, you did? It's on Spotify.
it's on Spotify. The very first one we ever did when it was just
I
me,
didn't know that.
you, and Brant.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. It's the very first one we ever did. And
I don't even remember that.
it was actually
Just me, you, and Brand.
Yeah, it was really good. We did it in the sunroom at the Yellow House when we were using that as an office. It was really, really good. It was
Man, I don't remember that.
I do remember watching that.
It was actually a really good podcast too. But anyways,
Yeah.
we're getting off topic. Sorry guys. I have a tendency to drag people off topic. My bad.
It's okay. We're good with that.
Oh yeah, they don't want to hear me sing Sheryl Crow anymore.
We're gonna get to that. We're saving that for the end.
Yeah.
I got a couple bones to pick with you.
We're gonna watch
towards-
everybody leave as
towards
soon as
the
I
end
start
of
singing.
no. Trust me, guys. You want to stay to the end. If you don't watch any other video to
If
the end,
you
watch this
don't
one.
know what they're talking about, is
Yeah.
we have a little group, kind of like a boy band called Clickbaiters, and
Sarah actually calls the texter and the boy band. Like whenever I get a text from all you guys, she's like, the boy band's texting. I'm like, all right, cool.
That's very perfect. And sometimes that gets lit up, man. Sometimes
Yeah.
I think we can rename that group.
the boy band.
The boy band. We probably can.
But for Brad's initiation, or one of the many things.
No, it was because Brad lost.
Oh
And-
yeah, that's right.
And just so we're
terrible thought.
just so we're clear on this, it was Brad's idea.
Yeah.
That's
like,
true.
I don't know what he was thinking. Like when he looked up, and which I mean, granted, Brad didn't know me at the time, so he didn't know that. For you guys that don't know,
I didn't know you
literally,
could sing.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I can sing. I'm not saying
You
that.
can
But
you can carry a tune.
from my entertainment career, actually started as a karaoke DJ like 15 years ago. I was DJing karaoke, so obviously I know my way
Karaoke
around.
expert.
Yeah.
You know, I know my way around a karaoke song. So when we did that, and you looked up and you're like, I know the loser has to sing karaoke. In my mind, like, I got excited. Like, you know, down the pit of my stomach, my heart started pounding. I'm like, no matter what, Brad's losing this. And I looked at Brant and I was like, and I don't want you to win either. Because here's the thing. Had I won that competition, and you and Brant had got up there, it wouldn't have been as funny.
No,
I mean,
not
not knock on Brant,
Yeah.
but it's just because I can sing
because y'all
a
both
little.
would be terrible.
Well, yeah, and it's because I can sing a little, and the fact that I got up there and I made it my life's mission at that point to make you feel as embarrassed as human possible.
You did it.
And it worked because there were people like dancing in the crowd. And there were so many phones. I've never.
You're all over the
In
internet.
all the
all right.
years that I've been doing karaoke, I
And
don't know that I had that many phones out.
Didn't that video play like on the
Yes,
big screen?
Yeah.
AJ's when
At
we went
AJ's?
down there.
At Destin Harbor.
Brant and I went down there to meet with them over some sponsor opportunities, and they were trying to woo us, I guess, when we were down there. And we walk out at AJ's on Destin Harbor, and I look up, and all I see is me and Brad on the stage
Doing
at the other AJ's. AJ's on the Bayou. And Brad's up there just singing karaoke, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
The good thing back then, nobody knew who I was, so that's all right.
That was very early. Now
was early, yeah.
you're more recognized than any of us.
Yeah.
Anytime you walk around, is that Bearded Brad? Bearded Brad. You're like the first
dang
one people
beard.
pick out.
It's the beard. The beard.
Definitely. What the heck were we even talking about?
I don't know.
How did we get on that tangent?
I don't know.
Wait,
Back
so
to
wait,
another fishing,
because
not
Brad-
catching podcast.
Yeah, this is
Never
this
know
is-
what you're gonna get.
This is
that's
how it
right.
goes. Make sure you rate this podcast a 5. It's a 5.
5 out of 5.
I didn't know because I have literally never even listened to a podcast on any podcast forum. Period.
Really?
When we started filming this.
The only one I'd ever listened to was ours, obviously, and then I'll listen to Joe Rogan on occasion.
I just see snippets. Like
Yeah.
if I like
Sure.
the short form stuff, I'll
Right.
see snippets, but I've never actually tuned into a podcast.
There's something we could talk about: short form content and why we hate it.
I do hate short form content.
It is. It's
And
tough.
It's a
frustrating.
necessary evil. I get it, but I mean, I've told you guys this before, and I stick by this. And I mean, I'm on the whole like let's make the money while we can game, but short form content is not going to last. There is a reason. I'm telling you,
I don't know, man.
dude. I'm telling you, there's a
think it's going
reason.
anywhere.
I think it is, and here's why.
I disagree.
Name
too.
one short form content app that has ever made it.
But now the big dogs are
Yeah.
playing.
If you can
But-
get YouTube and Facebook to jump on board with
It'll
it,
work.
yeah.
Facebook is working semi. YouTube is not. It is like damaging
Well-
channels on YouTube.
Well, yeah,
It's doing that.
I
Yeah, it's
agree.
working for their platform.
But
though.
for
it's
YouTube,
keeping people on their platform.
It's doing great.
but
They love it.
But is it? Because here's
Creators
why.
hate it.
Here's
Yeah.
why. What happens when they find out that the advertising dollars aren't there for it? They're going to kick it to the curb. I promise you. Because here's the thing: if you can't keep somebody's attention for more than 30 seconds, they're not paying attention to an ad.
But I think you're thinking incorrectly about that. So you're thinking in the terms of like a video that plays for 10, 15, 20 minutes, has mid-roll ads. The ads that they can run on short form is no different. So you've got a person watching a session of short forms, and they watch 100 of them. They may see 1 or 2 ads. So yeah, CPMs are low, but their session duration is still just as long, if not longer, on YouTube than watching long form.
I agree that they're getting in front of people, but are they interacting with it? That's the question.
Do they interact with the ads?
Sure, they do. There are some people that do.
I guarantee you, it's probably. I mean, I don't know, but I guarantee you it's just the same. I bet
Yeah.
because you can interject 2 5-second ads in between 100 videos, and people aren't going to give a crap. They're going
But
to
I
keep watching.
feel like if they did though, because it's like a prime example of like shock advertising is what I call it, is like attorney billboards, right? Like who's the biggest attorney in Alabama for injury? Exactly. And you know that.
I don't know how to
because-
say his name.
You know that because it's shock advertising. It's not real time advertising. So he's not making money off that billboard today, right? He's not making money off of that billboard until you have a car accident and
Right.
you call him.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with this.
Those fuzzes keep getting on my nerves.
They're hoping that if they put something in front of these people enough that they'll remember it. The problem with short form content is I don't think they have a long. I mean, that's why you look at Vine. Do you remember Vine?
Oh yeah, no.
Vine was going to take over.
That was Logan Paul.
They were going to
Logan Paul was like the Vine king.
Now, and you think about this, and here's why I'm saying this, and everybody wants to say the Paul brothers are prime examples of short form content working. They are not, and here's why. Logan and Jake Paul were not the number one Viners. No, the number one Vine creator was King Batch.
I don't know who that is.
Exactly.
Me either.
And you know why you don't know who that is? Because when Vine started to die, he didn't make the jump to long form content.
Right.
That's Amanda Cerny. She was a Playboy Playmate. She was amazing on Vine. She was number 3 Vine creator. She chose not to go to long form content when Vine started fading out. Nobody knows who she is. So you hit the nail on the head when you said, I don't know who that is. The reason the Paul brothers made it is because they switched to long form content. The problem with the short form content now is you don't have a loyal audience whatsoever. You really, really don't. So for instance, most
if
people,
that's all you're doing.
and we exactly. Now, if you're using that, again, like you do an excellent job of making your shorts tie into your Facebook page, which drives engagement to your page. That's how it should work. You are a prime example of making it work.
Well, I hired somebody.
Oh, there you go. So, but that,
Thank you.
But still, that's how it's supposed to work. But 90% of the time, if I'm telling you about somebody on TikTok, it's like there's one girl that Sarah loves to watch, and she has Tourette's. I have no idea what her name is.
Yeah,
So when
I've seen that one.
when I tell people about her, I'm like, yeah, it's the girl on TikTok with Tourette's, and everybody knows who I'm talking about, but nobody knows her name. Nobody. And
Well, there's people that don't know my name.
Yeah.
I'm Beach Bum.
No. But they know.
Or your,
but they know your
Beach
brand.
Bama Bum.
My point is,
Yeah.
if I want to go on TikTok right now and I want to find her, I do not know her name, how to type it in. I don't. I mean, most people don't, and that's what's happening with this short form content. There was actually somebody that did a talk at one of the conferences we were watching, and they were talking about if short form content was ever going to last, they had to figure out a way to make their creators more notable to people, to where they knew who they were rather than what they were known for.
Well, I mean, I think the right way to do it is you're going to have to build a brand, and the short form is just another way to put your brand in front of these people. If you only do TikTok, yeah, you're probably not going to get anywhere.
And
But
there's a huge opportunity for it right now.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
I don't know how long.
That's what I'm
it'll
saying,
last.
and that's exactly what I'm saying. Make your money,
But
while you
I don't think
can.
it's going anywhere. I don't think it's going to end.
But I think what happens is I don't think any single platform is going to be sustainable like a YouTube.
I think
it
that
bounces
if that's all
around.
you're doing, I will say, if you're a creator and all you do is short form content, period, like you're not doing any kind of long form, there is a huge opportunity to make a lot of money right now because all these platforms are competing with each other. And if and all you have to do is take that same piece of content and post it on all the platforms, and you can earn money from all the platforms with that content. And because they are pushing it so much, but if that's all you do, I don't know that fame is going to, because fame is fleeting, period.
Sure.
Doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how famous you are. From the top of the list to the bottom, it's fleeting. I think that is even more so true for that. Like your lifespan of fame is going to be teensy weensy compared to somebody that's focusing on long.
And you're not.
Long
I
form.
think the problem is you're not building your brand.
Yeah.
Like you've spent 5 years building the Bama Beach Bum brand, and you've spent 5 years or however long it's been building the Bearded Brad brand, and everything you're doing now, short form, long form,
ties into that.
ties into your brand. You're not building a bigger brand. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest changes, I know you've got some stuff written down about us talking about Facebook comments and stuff. One of the things that we're looking at doing right now on our channel is dialing back sponsor stuff, because
I'm in the same boat.
and here's
boat.
why. And you know,
Sponsors are going
and
away.
I don't care to say this. I mean, I'll tell you guys, Daniel Arms told me this. If you guys don't know who Daniel Arms is, I highly encourage checking them out. They do a great job on their channel. But for me, it's wildly beneficial to have a Bama Beach Bum or a Bearded Brad or an Angler Up with Brand or a Daniel Arms. I can pick up the phone and be like,
Darsizzle.
Darsizzle.
You're a very connected man in the industry.
But it's everybody thinks it's all about fishing, and that's great. It's great to be able to go out and fish with Matt or Brad or Darcy or Brant or whoever. But it is invaluable for any of us, not just me. For Brad, I mean, I'm sure Brad can attest to this too. When you can pick up the phone and you can call somebody with 200,000 subscribers or 100,000 or 750,000 like Daniel and be like, hey man, I got a question. And they'll take your phone call.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
It is the most powerful thing in content creation. Make no mistake about that. But I was having a very serious conversation with Daniel about sponsor dollars. Because as you guys know, we've done a couple merchandise launches on our channel. They've done extremely well both times. And that's a testament to a very loyal audience. But if you think about the dollars you make, and we make good money on sponsor dollars. Let's not kid anybody. Sure. I mean, we do.
You can.
But if you take that money and you put that towards building your brand rather than another brand,
Absolutely.
you take, if I spend, we give you guys on my channel in particular, on the Cameraman Ron channel, I give you basically an hour of my life a week. That's what you're seeing. So I basically put out like 3 20-minute videos every week on average. So I'm giving you an hour of my week. If I take 10 minutes of that hour and I talk to you about a company, that's literally like what, 18% of my content that week, or 15, 16% of my content that week that I'm spending talking about someone else's brand. And granted, I'm getting paid to do that.
Sure.
There's no doubt. But when I start trying to release merchandise, it gets watered down because I've spent so much time trying to sell
you're
you
promoting
guys
too much
something
stuff.
else, and you end up promoting too much stuff. What I would rather do is I would rather make T-shirts that I know you guys are going to like, because I make these T-shirts based on what my audience is telling me. I'm not just making them like off the handle.
Right.
I know for a fact that my audience wanted a Crack a Cold One T-shirt. They told me they did. So I went out and I made a Crack a Cold One T-shirt, and we sold them literally within 72 hours. They were all gone. And it dawned on me then that we needed to dial back sponsor stuff, and we needed to be doing, especially at our size. Now, if you got 750,000 subscribers, or you're fishing with Norm or Flair, one of those guys, and you can do a sponsored video every week, and you are perfectly fine.
Right.
You've got a big enough audience to sustain that.
And you're at a place where, see, there's a gap with us. See, if you're big enough and there's a value enough to the company that wants to sponsor you to write that fat check, then it makes sense. But like where we are at, in a lot of ways, I still, for it to be worth my time and for me to see the value in it, to give up that piece of content, I want a larger sum of money, and it's worth it to make it worth it for me, and it's probably not going to be worth it to the advertiser.
Right.
Because, and I mean, I don't know how many people are out there watching. They're trying to get a YouTube channel started. I talked about this when we were out in Oklahoma, because we were out there with a lot. Basically, what that conference was, Daniel and Dutch did a great job putting that on, but it was basically bringing in a lot of smaller creators that were on the brink. They were on the brink of starting to make a little bit of money, becoming monetized. And my number one advice to you, and Brad, if you disagree, please interject, but do not reach out to companies to get them to sponsor you.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, you immediately put the ball in their court. One of the biggest mistakes I made as a content creator when it started time to sign sponsor deals was reaching out to companies that I wanted to work with rather than waiting for them to reach out to me. Because when I call you, if I call Bearded Brad and I say, hey man, I'd love to put, if Bearded Brad's got a line of hats, right? And I was like, man, I want to wear your hats in my video. Bearded Brad's like, okay, he wants to be a part of this group. He'll do it for anything. Where if he sees my channel and I'm wearing a Bama Beach Bum hat and he wants me to wear a Bearded Brad hat, he's much more likely to give me a much more incentive-based deal in order to get me to switch over to that brand or to advertise that brand than reaching out to them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that to some extent. I mean, I kind of disagree with it a little bit too. I think it depends. It's going to be different for every individual.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And every
it depends
industry.
on what you want
How you
out
wanna
of
go
that
about it.
brand. If you just want to get in with somebody and get some free product or something,
For sure.
yeah, by all means, reach
Low
out.
expectations.
Right.
Absolutely.
But as far as trying to, and even from that, you can get some long-term deals and hopefully get some bigger money out of that as your channel grows as well.
But it's hard though.
Yeah.
It's hard to, like,
And
if you start small, it's hard to get
And I
it.
compare
When
it.
you
It
go
is.
up, it's hard to get them
I
to go up.
compare it all the time to think about taking on a job. And I don't care what financial experts you talk to, they're going to tell you, you have to get as much money as you possibly can in the beginning because raises are scarce. Once they get you in the door and they have you under contract to work for them, and I'm not talking about sponsors, I'm talking about like if you're going to work for a marketing firm,
Right, yeah.
you've got to get the maximum dollars at the door because you're not going to get a lot of raises in your time there. And people tell you that. That's why you see people switch jobs all the time. The only time you're going to make a significant amount more of money is to take on a new job with your new experience.
Yeah.
Because the company you're working for will very, very rarely pay you for the experience that you've obtained.
It's the
while
same
working
with
them.
I know, it
And
was-
it's the same with sponsors.
It was funny. I won't say who it was, but somebody I was working with when I first got on and I was small, they were like, we'll send you free product. And I was like, cool.
Yeah, that
when
sounds
you're
great.
Like when you're small and you think about sponsorships, like it sounds cool. You're like, they recognize me for what I've done.
Yeah.
But really they're just trying to send everybody free product.
Right, yeah.
But so they sent me free product or whatever. They're like, as you grow, we'll grow with you. I'm like, awesome.
This sounds great.
And then they called me up one day. They're like, man, you've been killing it. We want to hook you up. And I was like, all right. He's like, let's get on a phone call. I was like, yes.
Here it is,
and
baby.
he was like,
Here's payday.
we're now going to give you like 10% of people that use your code. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, like,
I thought you were going to pay me.
Yeah.
You're not really paying me.
And here's the thing, and just to go back to what you said, I have two very distinguishable things on. I know how I look at it on our channel. I have partnerships and I have sponsorships. If somebody sends me like electric e-bikes, I think
Yeah.
I know you're not involved with them. You and I both are.
Yeah.
That's not a sponsorship.
No.
That's a partnership. They sent us a bike. We use them on channels. We
do what
never
you
have to
want.
say anything.
Yeah.
That's totally different. I feel like if you want, like I reach out to electric. I'm like, I want an electric e-bike. So I reach out to them and then we worked it out. I think that's way different than if you reach out to a company that's paying you.
Yeah.
Like actual monetary dollars. But heck yeah, I mean like
Frog Talks.
Yeah, Frog Talks is a prime
Great
example.
setup.
Yeah, man. So,
In the beginning, I was like, I don't want free stuff. You know, I want to get paid. I'm like the exact opposite now.
Yeah.
Like, just give me stuff.
I don't want
Yes.
expectations.
No expectations,
I mean, if you give me stuff that I can use, I'll use it.
And I
It'll
will
show
tell
up.
you, I mean, you guys may disagree, but in my opinion, Frog Talks is, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody else, Frog Talks is my absolute favorite company we work with.
Yeah.
Just
They're the easiest.
Just because, guys, you don't understand. Like, our rep, I don't want to like say his name because I don't know if he wants everybody to know that, but like our rep, and I know we all three have the same rep.
Well, he's the owner.
Oh, is he? Okay.
I didn't know that.
I didn't realize. So he'll reach out to us and be like, hey guys, summer, you need new flip flops?
Yeah.
So he calls you. He's like a backwards salesman. You think he's trying to get you sucked in. Like he called Sarah and I back in, I don't know, July, and he's like, hey, I noticed you look like you're up for some new flip flops. You want some? I'm like, yeah, man, go ahead and send this thing. Next thing I know, I'm getting like 3 boxes on my front porch from Will, and it's everything. It's like tackle bags, rain jackets, flip flops.
The same thing. They overload you.
But
it's
he
like,
doesn't
oh my
even.
gosh.
But they don't even want us to say anything. Like he told me, he was like, "You don't need to say anything." He's like,
just
"Just wear it." He's
Yeah.
like, "Just take the tackle bags out and use them."
Yep.
He doesn't ask for like and that's the most organic thing.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people have messaged us because Sarah ended up with that. Croc makes one, but it's like a beach bag. That's Croc's made.
Courtney wants one really bad.
Yeah.
Just
now.
tell. No, they make them. Frog Talks have
No,
them.
I know. Well, and he emailed me like, because
so
that's the thing. And I haven't even responded to
he
it.
sent Sarah 3. So, but now mind you,
Sorry, Courtney.
Don't worry. Don't worry,
the mic
Courtney.
picked that up.
Probably not.
I'll have Sarah send you one if Matthew won't take care of things. So just let me know what color you want. We'll get you taken care of.
Pink.
But yeah, that's what Sarah has.
Yeah.
But like she saw that, but now she's never once said Frog Talks on our channel. And Sarah's never said that word on our channel ever.
We're giving them a lot of Frog Talks. We're giving them a lot of
I
plugs.
know, but in all seriousness, like there's no telling how many of those bags that they've sold because of that.
Right.
Because she doesn't push the bag, but it's always there. It's always present in the videos, and she gets messages. Hey, what is that? Because mystery, that's a terrible word. Mystery is like the king.
I was wondering what word you missaid. I was like,
That's like
what's he trying to say?
some George Bush stuff right there.
Because when you're not talking about it, people want to know. That's the thing. It's like if you're not talking about it, it's like, oh, what is that? I don't recognize that. What is it? And it gives you that. What? Oh, stay bummy.
You see my coffee cup? Yes.
That's nice.
We made this many moons ago. I still have it. Got a chip on it.
Did you get it from Teespring?
No, I don't know where this one came from. Where? The
Shutterfly.
wife says Shutterfly.
John, in
made it
case
for
you're
me.
wondering, Courtney's in the background keeping us all online.
That's right. We are at my house filming this podcast.
Yes. Anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get so off track.
No,
but
no,
yeah,
you're good.
But yeah, partnerships and sponsors are two totally different. I mean, partners by all means. If you have something that you're wanting that you can, and definitely make it something you can use for your channel.
Yeah.
I mean, I always tell people they're like, oh, you should reach out to Twinkies. Yeah, I'm fat, but that has nothing to do with my channel. So I don't know that
You
I'm gonna
need
get-
a Twinkie
I need a
sponsorship.
Twinkie
I am
sponsor.
still waiting on some sort of beer sponsor, though.
That would be a
love
very
a
good
beer
fit.
sponsor.
Well, they have a connection, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Hook
Louis
a
Bear.
brother up.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense for
Yeah.
your.
I have beer in my kitchen cooks.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they're just
About to start a new channel, too.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
We actually are getting
Yeah,
ready to start 2 new channels.
Are you?
What?
Yeah, so Sarah's going to start her own
So
channel.
much content coming out.
PYT Life. That has taken on. That's another thing from Eugene. Like that was.
That's true, yeah,
we did
yeah.
the whole like he called her PYT one time, and that really took on a life of its own. And Sarah's done a great job like owning that. In case you guys aren't familiar, Sarah's my wife. She's a huge presence on our channel. But that she's really started kind of like a little movement with that.
All this that you guys are saying goes back to this whole point about sponsorships and why, because like there's so much right now. Me and you are trying to like this podcast, new website. We're trying to launch so many different things. And if we're constantly plugging, hey guys, go check this out. Hey guys, go check
Yeah, this
this
is
out.
a Shure microphone with
Yeah.
a Rode. You
Yeah.
should check them out today.
But
Right?
then
It's
if
like,
you have all of these sponsors in addition
Yeah.
to all the things that you're trying to build as
it
your
gets-
own
it gets
brand,
convoluted.
It's
yeah, so like
tough.
sponsors, I think I that would be what you said. You were saying it. What I would sum it up. Somebody that's brand new, don't even worry about sponsors. Forget about it.
Yeah.
I think it's going away. It's not going to be worth the money. I
Yeah,
promise you.
it sounds great in the beginning. Ooh, I can get $100
build
a
your
month,
own
but
brand.
it is not worth
Just
it.
build your own brand.
Because
Focus on
that stuff's going to come later. It will.
Yeah,
I promise you,
if
it
you're
will.
huge, I would say it makes sense. You know, like these really big guys. I mean, like Mr. Beast. I mean, the Dude Perfect. They've got freaking Nerf as.
I mean, they get like $1 million
yes, like
commercials.
When you get to that point and you get those kind of contracts,
we're
by all
we're
means.
not saying not
but
ever,
$500, $1,000 a month, as great as that sounds in the beginning, just say thanks, but no thanks. Send me free stuff and give me no expectations.
And I will tell you, and I'll leave this on this: do not give free publicity on your channel. Don't
not to.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to mention something, but you know, if you're like, for instance, I'm not going to sit on my channel and be like, I'm having a monster coffee today, and do that every day it doesn't make sense. And I mean, obviously that's just a out there example.
Right.
Don't sit there and advertise for a line of baits because they're never going to contact you.
It's not going to work.
If you're sitting there,
they're getting it for free.
They don't care.
Getting for free. They're never going to recognize you just because you talk about it all the time. As your channel grows, you're giving them free publicity, and you can never take that back because those videos will always be out there.
Yeah, it's tough.
For sure.
There's a lot to learn and get into and lessons we've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
But
this is valuable information for you guys.
that's right.
Absolutely.
You know how I know all this?
How's that?
Because the Facebook commenters told me.
If there's anything you're ever unsure about,
just
all
check
you
the
have
face-
to do is go to Facebook comments.
Yeah.
They will definitely give you the intro.
They
on that.
know that is like so. Facebook has kind of become a new thing for us. I mean, relatively.
And would you
I've
please,
only-
for the love of God, stop telling everybody about Facebook? Just keep your mouth shut. Like, seriously, bro, like, stop. There was nobody fishing on Facebook until Brad started. He's like, I'm going to tell the world.
There's a lot. There's a lot now. There's a lot now. But I mean, it built a relationship with Landshark and Ryan. And
Getting in with Ryan
No,
and
I'm just-
Victor is
I'm
definitely
just kidding,
valuable.
yeah, those guys are killer cool dudes. And
I'm gonna start charging people for Facebook advice.
yeah, consulting fees.
In all honesty, though, I mean, like, one thing I would say, I mean, I guess we still get it, not as bad as we used to. This is not a competition. Like, we are a group of friends. It's a collaboration.
They felt differently.
Yeah.
They kind of turned that on, like, because I felt the same way. I'm like, it's not a competition. But
Really?
They're like, yeah, it is.
Like Ryan and them were?
The South Florida guys, yeah.
Really?
I mean, not with them two. I mean, but I get maybe they feel that way to a degree. But they feel like within their area down there and all those YouTubers they mentioned, they were like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely competition.
But see, I feel like if you get into that ball game of it being a competition, it's gonna be really. That's why collaborations become not fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think doing the collabs definitely help it not seem as much like a competition. But when you have the different cliques within your same, like, we got the Panhandle, and there's a good group of us that collab a lot, and there's some that don't, and so there may be some competition between those that do and those that don't. And
but
same
the point,
thing, they're like,
because my point to them, because they were saying, yeah, it's competition between YouTubers, and honestly, like your viewers, if they follow several people that are similar, they're gonna view it as competition.
See, I don't think so.
I think they do. I mean, like if they're like really into it, and they're like, oh yeah, this guy's growing faster than you or whatever. I mean, maybe not. Maybe
I mean,
not.
I've never had. I mean, I very rarely see a comment that Brad's twice as big as you are now.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I really don't. Like,
Maybe we feel that way, but I feel like because if somebody's watching my videos,
that
doesn't mean they're not going to watch Brad's videos.
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
it can definitely take away from some of that though, because I mean, everybody's so busy now. How do you? Somebody does not have the time to sit down and watch all the three of us in a Brant video in one day.
No, you're right about
but
that.
they're going to watch what they're going to watch.
Yeah.
I do believe that. I mean, they're not going. So if they log on today and all four of us have posted and they love all four of our videos, they're going to find time to watch them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't like us and they're not going to watch them, then they're not going to watch them either way.
Right.
But I feel like I don't think it comes down to a choice. I think if we all four put a video out today, now it might start off a little, or it might not get the same amount of views, obviously, because we're all in different places. But I feel like if all four of us put out a video today, all four, so, John Smith, if he watches all four of us, I think he's going to watch all four of those videos. Now, he might pick and choose who he watches first, but I don't think it's ever going to be a point where it takes away, and he's not going to watch the other two
Right.
or the other three videos.
It's hard to say.
Y'all comment down below. Let
Let us know.
Well, now the one thing I will say, that's if you do things like Norm, Lojo, and Ayo do them. Now, if we're all three together and we all three make a video and we all three put it out, the first one's king.
Yeah.
Because everybody else already knows what happens.
Right.
Now that for sure can affect, and 100%. But I think if, like we talked about earlier, if we make a video for Matt's channel and all three of us are in it or all four of us are in it, and he posts that video everybody's going to watch it.
Yeah.
Same thing, vice versa, all the way around. But yeah, if we all three go out on a charter boat and we all four make it, or all four, however many of us are out there, and we make a video, then yeah, somebody's going to get left out because everybody's going to have seen everything pretty quick.
This is true.
Yeah, I like the idea of collaborating in a way that we're making a video for one person.
I mean, Lojo, AO, and Norm are just
hard to
killing
do.
that. Oh, it's hard.
It's very hard to do.
But I mean, you talked to Norm about this. I mean, they basically have a schedule where they get together and it's like, okay, Matthew gets a day, Ron gets a day, Brad gets a day, Brant gets a day. You take 4 days and you dedicate those 4 days to filming, and each person gets their own day. And whatever idea you come up with, that's what you do. And that's what those guys are doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I go hard sometimes, but those guys go hard.
Way hard.
Oh.
They go freaking hard.
Yeah.
They don't stop.
All right, before I go, we got to address the elephant in the room. I need to understand, for the life of me, why you dumped that piece of crap boat in my front yard.
I was wondering what the elephant in the room was.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot
Bro,
about that.
you put a junk boat in my front yard.
Dude, so I felt bad for you. If you haven't seen
There was
Cameraman
nothing
Ron's
he did not feel
video,
bad for me.
his trailer literally broke in half while he was driving down the road.
Yeah.
And I have a perfectly good boat and trailer. So I was like,
I
what?
don't know if I would say perfectly
Very
good or not.
philanthropic for you.
The trailer's perfect.
The trailer's not in bad shape. Like, I'm almost thinking about just putting the boat
Swapping
out in the
them?
bayou and letting it go and just using the trailer for my kayak.
It's not a bad idea.
That would
Like,
be a good kayak.
I mean, I would not be the first person to like let the boat go out in the bayou.
There's
Just-
plenty of boats
There's
just
plenty
floating
of them
around
out there
out
that's
there.
just floating. Trust me,
Yeah.
I would not be. You don't have it numbered or anything, right?
Not with mine. no.
Registered.
I'm gonna look.
If there's a number on it, it's not connected to me.
When I repaint,
even get a bill
When
of
I
sale on that
repainted
thing.
it, I'm just gonna put @beardedbrad.com or something like that on the side of it. That
Don't
way
do
everybody
that.
knows where it's
Don't
at.
do that.
It might not have the numbers on it, but everybody will know to find it at your place. So.
Well, now that I painted it with some orange, they're already good.
Oh, don't worry, I get a remedy for that.
Kentucky Blue.
What?
Don't you worry, bro. When you get the P, I'm bringing it back. If I don't bring it to Matt, when's your birthday?
October. Next month.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I know what I'm
you don't
getting.
even have my address, so
Bro, I've been to your house.
my new one.
Yes, we had a Super Bowl party there.
Oh yeah, I forgot you came.
You don't know where I live either.
Yeah. Your house is the only house I've been to that I don't know how to get back to.
Really? Well, good.
Like, I mean, I'm going to remember now because I've got your address saved in my phone. Let's talk after this is over. I know what we should get Matthew.
definitely
All of a
work something
sudden,
out.
I know what we should get Matthew for
I've
his
been
birthday.
wanting a boat.
I guarantee you, he's going to be at Disney sometime in October. So we can just
That's
bring it while he's at
exactly
Disney.
right. We can just,
November we will.
hey, and you know what? One side of the boat, Annalise will love.
Uh-oh.
So this would work out. This could work out really
we
well for
can
him.
do something.
Let's work out
I'll snatch his garage door opener or something. We'll just leave it in his
We
garage.
cannot put it in his garage. God, that would be Courtney would be so pissed.
She can't even
If
park
she
in there.
comes
it's
back-
already, it's already full.
If she comes back and she can't get her car in the garage because the SSPOS is there,
Yeah.
I have a feeling she wouldn't even take that out on him. She would probably take that out on us. She would
Yeah.
know.
She's been doing CrossFit.
I just had a really great idea.
She'll beat you up.
So you've been doing like a little bit of not farming, but you've been doing we've been
micro farming.
you've been doing like a little bit of other
We have
stuff
chickens,
on your
bro. We are a
channel.
full blown
Yeah.
farm.
Whoa.
Dude, that boat would be perfect to dig a hole in your backyard and make a little pond.
Dude.
It would not be bad. If I owned my property, I would probably do that. But we have.
You can still do it.
I can't say right now, but we have a few things in the works that
Some things cooking.
we got some things in the works that
Nice.
for the channel and for the very near future. That
Oh,
so
okay.
Breaking news.
Break can't say too
Well,
much right now.
We'll have
but,
to have you back on the podcast. So we
Yeah.
talk about
yeah,
it.
so we can talk about the micro farm. It's actually really cool. I really so when I was a kid, I grew up on a dairy farm, and I always told my dad, I'm never going to be a farmer. Like it's like a prison without the uniforms. You have to milk cows twice a day, every day, no matter what.
You didn't know how popular it'd be on YouTube.
That's exactly right. And now it's like the only
Now
thing.
you're like, dang it, I wish I
the
was,
was a farmer.
The only thing I want is a micro farm, but it is really it's very easy content. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. It's nice to be able to go out and be like, hey, I'm going to make a video filming chickens today. And you can go out there and no matter, you're not depending on the elements.
Yeah.
You can go out there in 25, 30 minutes and you can make a video.
That's why I'm starting a separate channel too. I'm obviously still going to keep the fishing channel, but I'm going to start one just
Fishing's
about grilling
hard.
and stuff. So
Hard to keep up.
Literally, if I want to grill ribs, I just go to the store and I buy them and I film it and I got a video.
I will say this in all honesty, and I know we're wrapping up here, but in my opinion, outdoor content, fishing, hunting, is hands down the most difficult content to create on any platform.
A
Consistent.
lot of variables.
Consistently. Yeah, just because it's beyond your control. Like if you're a gamer, you can go out. You're guaranteed to be able to make a gaming video
Yeah,
that
you
day.
just start playing.
You're just going to start playing.
So we
you're gonna
started a
make it.
podcast, guaranteed video.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there's been so many times, like a lot of the times people are like, well, why did y'all stop doing clickbaiters videos? One, we didn't stop doing clickbaiters videos.
We're doing one now.
We just put them on our own individual channels now. But two, it's like we all four have very, very tight schedules. I mean, I think I speak for all of us when I say that. So when we can't go out and make a guaranteed video, that's tough. We waste a day and we've lost all of that time, and we might not have a video to show.
Right.
So it's really, really tough. But
For sure.
it's a difficult field to be in for sure.
Yeah.
But it's rewarding when you catch a little 8-inch bass that you've been targeting for months.
Killing it, Ron.
It's tough to do.
But
Wait, am I about to hear something in my headset again?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's up right
Ron,
there.
thanks for being on the podcast.
Hey man,
Yeah.
thank
Make sure
y'all
you go
for
check him out.
having me.
Cameraman Ron. YouTube, Instagram. You're on TikTok, right?
Oh, yeah.
Facebook,
We're everywhere.
all
All
the
the
stuff.
things.
We're,
man.
we're on all the things, man.
Keep up
All
with the story.
things.
Hit up one of the other things.
Oh yeah, this is what we like to do.
Wait, we got different music?
What? Yeah. You got one for Eugene? Eugene should get his own button. Yeah, we need a Eugene button. We do need a Eugene button.
I kind of sound like Kevin Hart. What are you talking about?
Let me
Smack you in the face.
let me explain something to you, man. The way my banking account works, you see, I keep my money in savings, and I ain't got enough in checking to pay for this stuff. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah.
Y'all have a good day.
Peace. Bye.